Smiles rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their 8th draft. It's Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, and whether you're finally locked into your Gameweek 8 draft or just here to scout some differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, fixture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. James, long time no talk. How the hell are you?
I am regenerated, recuperated, and ready to bounce back.
Regenerated.
Yeah, I'm like Piccolo.
Oh, that's an excellent one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is my last chance using this international break as a chance to kickstart my back 3/4 of the season. What are we? Is it Gameweek 8? So we're just under a quarter.
Just under a quarter. I mean, we're not a math pod, but there are 38 game weeks, and we are about to be at game week 8. So 8 over 38, quick napkin math. That's about a quarter. So we're about a quarter of the way through. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to remember where we left off. So I think from our last time we met, you were contemplating. I guess you were regretful that you had captained. Did you captain Foden last week?
No, you're misremembering. Jesus took the wheel from me.
Oh, that's right. Carry the legs.
I didn't make any decisions.
That's
Jesus
right.
decided
That's
to
right.
captain Foden back-to-back weeks, and unfortunately that didn't work out. So
That's right.
yeah, I took the wheel back.
Now that you've had, so I think it's been almost a solid 10 days since we've last spoken. Like, how are you feeling? Just like in general, like you said, I mean, this is kind of your last chance coming out of international break, but it's really also in the same way, it's kind of your first chance at a rebirth. How are you feeling?
I think if I don't turn it around in the next couple of weeks, get some momentum behind me, I think it's just going to be too far gone. I know it sounds like loser talk, but I mean, I'm down like 140 points off the leader or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of season left, but time's running out.
I think
I'm
go ahead.
107 off the lead.
107 off the lead. Yeah, I mean, I think probably your saving grace, honestly, is the fact that Salah has really not like taken off in the way that he historically has to start a campaign. Because if he had, and you haven't had Salah in your squad all season, correct?
Brought him in on my wild card,
which was game week 4 for you.
Game week 3. Because I had all those injuries.
After game week 3?
Before game week 3.
Before game week 3. Oh,
listen,
yeah.
This isn't a podcast just to shit on my moves so far.
No.
There's plenty of other things we can talk.
I'm trying to give you hope. I'm trying to give our listeners hope that, hey, what's in the past is in the past. The next decision is the best decision, So
yeah,
it could be the worst decision, but
the decision has to be made either way.
Either way. You mentioned international break. So yeah, we are at the conclusion here. All the international friendlies are wrapped up. I mean, we're not going to get into the individual games themselves, but I think in general, no major storylines coming out of international break that, I think we really need to speak to, other than, I think most players that would be of note for FPL came through relatively healthy. I don't think there were really any major injuries to speak of that I'm aware of. Anything that you saw?
No, and I think the last one was yesterday, so I think we should be in the clear. As long as there's nothing that we learned in the press conferences on Friday, but
yeah. So that's true. There are always some last minute things that we might hear with the pressers on Friday, but you got to feel good at this point if the players have not had an injury at this point. I will say I'm a little bit confused because I thought I've read that Dan Byrne, who might come up in conversations for Newcastle. I thought I read that he had a broken hand, but I'm pretty sure he's playing. I know he was selected
You
for
don't need a
England.
hand to play.
I I mean I
Didn't
guess,
Dele Alli
but
play with a broken hand for a year?
yeah, I don't know. I guess you could have a club, right? And that's dangerous for other players, but I guess there's probably no risk of actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're not supposed to use your hands. So I guess probably that's fine. But why don't we go through the fixtures? Why don't we kind of just break them down and I don't know, maybe give our take. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. So game week 8 is going to kick off on Saturday. So no Friday fixture this week. So gives all you managers a little bit more time. No Friday deadline. So the first fixture this week is going to be Forest and Chelsea, 30 early fixture. What are you looking for in this one, Jimbo? I mean, what stands out for you here?
I think this is probably João Pedro's last chance before a big drop off.
Mm.
I know he started the year with a bang. A lot of people moved him in at his price, but he has not returned since. So he's got a good one here. Forrest had not looked good. Andrew's probably in the hot seat. Still no Palmer. So he's probably the main man there to create offensively. But I think this is probably his last chance before we see a big drop off.
Yeah, I'm just looking at João Pedro's numbers here. Yeah, to your point. So he basically, he started the season super hot. He had the 2-pointer to begin the season, but then, yeah, he had 15, 9, and 7 in game weeks 2, 3, and 4. But then he's basically been blanking ever since. I am one of those João Pedro owners who I brought him in. I think at his price point, he's hard to avoid. But I will say, with the incoming of another forward over at Newcastle is at a similar price point, who I'm sure we'll discuss a little bit later in the episode. If you have to choose between the two and you ask me, what have you done for me lately? It might be a little bit easier to move on from João Pedro. Now, that being said, with Palmer still being injured, I don't know if he's fully fit, if he's going to be fully back. If he is going to feature, he's probably not going to go a full 90, if at all. Enzo, I think at this point, if you've got him in your squad, I think he's priced at 6.7 mil right now. He's been
Yeah,
a player who has been pretty popular as of late in the FPL realm. I mean, what are your thoughts on like Caicedo, Enzo, those kind of historically not as popular FPL assets, but this year they seem to be just returning like crazy.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of falling in the same as the Rice conversation, although they haven't been nearly as consistent. I think if with Palmer out, I think Enzo's a good pick because we saw that he'd be on pens as the next up. With Palmer coming back, though, I think Caicedo is probably a safe pick. I don't know. He has 4 goals already, and he's what? He's 5'6". I think he's a price rise, right?
Caicedo is at 5'8" right now.
5'8".
Yeah, he's at 5'8". He's got 3 goals this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that saving that extra 1.2 from Enzo probably worth it for a midfield slot.
Yeah,
But
Enzo's also flagged this week with a knee injury. He's 75% chance to play. I mean, we've seen plenty of players who are flagged with that 75% chance to play, and I mean Holland just a couple of weeks ago was flagged with that 75% chance and against Burnley, and he had a lot of
yeah,
managers like myself. I ended up putting the triple captainship on him, and take that for what it was. So is Enzo really at risk of not playing? Not sure,
yeah.
but yeah. Anyone else from the Chelsea side of shop that you're looking at for this week to bring in?
To bring in, no. I think maybe Caicedo is probably, if you're looking for a defensive midfielder, a cheaper option, probably him.
Yeah.
And on the Forest side, I think it's still the same story. It's just to avoid at all costs. Can't keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Haven't been scoring consistently. Who knows how long Andrew's going to make it? Do you see the meme that I think it was shortly after international break started that it was a picture of Marinakis, and he was enlarged significantly, and it said breaking news. Marinakis is eating Postacoglu. It got me good.
No, I didn't.
I'll try and find it.
I did
We'll
not
put it in the
see
show
that.
notes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll drop a link to that in the description. But no, I did not see that one. I mean Forest right now, they are I'll give it to them. They're staying relevant for all the wrong reasons. I mean, what a drop off. I don't know if anyone could have foreseen this drop off, especially because it's not like the roster really turned over. They brought back, if anything, they reinforced. I think when Gibbs White was able to stay in place, when they kind
Yeah,
of
I think it's karma, right?
Karma has a guy on the Chiefs. I don't know. It's and we're not a T Swift pod. Shout out
That's
to
true. We
Mitch.
should circle back and we'll talk.
That'll be we'll talk.
Next match. Next match.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like you said, if for some reason you still have forced assets, whether it be on the defensive side or if you're still holding on to Chris Wood, I will say though, if you're holding on to Chris Wood right now and he's your third striker as a bench option, I don't know if he's the worst option,
It's a lot of money for the bench, though.
but that's kind of where my head's at because like let's think about your alternatives, right? At this point, you're really talking about kind of that low 7, kind of mid-7 range. That's the João Pedro, it's the Voltemade, it's the Chris Wood. Evan Nilsson, I think we can kind of put into that range. Below that, I think you're really talking Thiago over at Brentford, and then DCL, who is really more in that like 5.5 range. So if you're looking for, kind of a differential pick at this point, because João Pedro's ownership is through the roof. Voltemade, I think a lot of folks are going to kind of jump ship and head over there. Chris Wood could be one of those players that if he's able to actually lock down those minutes, he could end up becoming a true differential. I'm trying to take a look at his ownership right now. Yeah, he's sitting at let me see right now. Right now he's sitting at a 11% ownership. But that is trending downward. So could be something that kind of plays out.
For the same price, though, wouldn't you rather bring in Shesko?
Yeah, so honestly I forgot about Sheshko. Yeah,
Yeah. He's got a
he's
tough
been
one this week,
fairly
but
irrelevant, but he's been pretty decent the last couple weeks. I think 2 in
they
his
can
last
put it
2, right?
together with getting everybody playing together again.
Yeah.
I think he's a better choice for at the price point.
I will give it to you. I overlooked Sheshko there. Yeah, fair enough. You think if Forest lose this, Ange is gonna make it through the weekend?
I just sent you the picture. Take a look at that, and then let me know what you think.
Let's take a look.
I mean, that's hard to
That's
look over from.
phenomenal. That is a
Yeah. So no, I think Ange is probably gone if they lose.
yeah, that's ugh, poor Ange.
All right. Shall we move on?
Let's move on. So, second match of game week 8. We just talked about it a little bit. Brighton and Newcastle. So let's talk about Brighton real quick because I feel like there's probably not a lot to talk about on
Mhm.
the Brighton side of shop. I've got something on the Brighton side, I will say. So I think at this point, I've been a little bit, I shouldn't say a little bit, I've been a lot of bit disappointed with De Kuiper. I know for me at the beginning of the season, and I feel like every season, there's just one Brighton defender that is well priced, that just feels like, oh, they're going to be great value. I love their fixtures. They rotate well with someone, and they
Mhm.
just seem to flop. I was actually looking at his total points for the season. I think for the season, he's only scored like 14 points all season, which is really bad. So, like,
He didn't even start the last 2, right?
yeah, I guess, but like beside that point, I mean, that's still just really bad. I mean, you think about how many of our players of the week have been defenders. Like, think about how many points have been left on the table this season by relying on someone like De Kuiper. So, I think for me, like, I I don't think that Brighton are going to keep a clean sheet in this game. I think Newcastle have kind of found that formation. They've kind of tapped into something there with Voltemade up top, Alenga on the right, and Gordon on the left. We've seen Eddie Howe kind of figure that out, kind of deploy that formation a little bit more regularly
Mhm.
and throughout Europe. So I don't like Brighton in this game. Now that being said, I know that you've in some prior episodes you've kind of talked about Matoma or Minta, even Danny Welbeck in the past. I mean, but I don't think I'm targeting anyone from Brighton this week to play against Newcastle.
No, definitely not. I guess I'm not targeting anybody at all. They're just have been too inconsistent. We don't even know who's going to start. If Danny Welbeck off your bench is who you're relying on to score as your third striker, that's not great when their best offensive player for the last 2 years probably is Matoma. I think that's probably safe to say. I mean, he's not even starting regularly, so it's just not enough to be confident in their attack. Although to their credit, they have been scoring goals. It's just, I guess, inconsistent with who they're coming from, and not what you want for FPL asset.
No, not at
I
all.
mean,
And
James
Matoma's actually,
Milner's probably got more points than the Kuiper.
I was actually going to say, no, Milner. Just on that Matoma comment, I just taken another look here. Matoma's actually flagged as doubtful. He has a foot injury. So I want to just make sure I put that out there because I don't want any fake news. I don't want anyone to have bad information here. That's not what we do here. What about on the Newcastle side? Have you kind of come to the Newcastle side here, or what?
Yeah, I want Voltemade, but I'm not decided on if I can get him in now. I also want Isak, but I can't have both without selling João Pedro. But I like João Pedro's fixture run coming up, but that's all just for me. I think Voltemade is a great price point, and they have some great fixtures. So I think, what's his ownership at the moment? He's up to 10%, 10.4. So still, I guess he's not a differential technically, but better than some of the other strikers if you're looking for somebody.
Yeah, he did score a goal while he was on international duty. Scored a goal in 89 minutes against Northern Ireland. So you like to see players be informed. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 goals in his last 5. He blanked against Luxembourg, but
Doesn't get much better.
what are you
than
gonna do? He only played 61 minutes there, so you can't really fault them. They were up. I know they won 4-0. I'm not exactly sure when those goals came through. Right? Frankly, I don't really care to look when they scored and when he came off.
You weren't
but
watching the Luxembourg match?
I let's see, that was the 10th. I was actually at a wedding. Oh boy, that was a wedding. I wouldn't even get into it.
Sounds like we should.
No, we're not a wedding pod. But shout out FPL Black Lab sat next to me at the wedding.
Whose wedding?
It was a cousin of mine. It's a family wedding. But we're Italian. We have lots of
Mhm.
lots of cousins, lots of weddings. But so I think I had mentioned it a few weeks ago. I had targeted Newcastle. They had a nice fixture run. They have so far been returning. I brought in Voltemade and Nick Pope a couple weeks ago, and I have been the beneficiary of those transfers thus far, with a goal and a clean sheet. So hopefully continuing that trend moving forward. I don't have any plans to sit either of them, and don't have any plans to move either of them out. So I know it's a little early for team reveals because the deadline's obviously a couple days away, but we can give a little sneak peek on our team selections towards the end of the episode.
Yeah, and just Newcastle's next 4 matches: Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford. So a good run there.
Pretty good.
All right, and the next match, probably more of a snoozer. Not going to be watching this one. Burnley hosting Leeds at 10 a.m. We could probably get through this one in 45 seconds. Leeds, I have Joe Rodon. I think he's probably the only consistent defender that they've had. He had a goal a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't bring in any of their offensive players still. They haven't really clicked. DCL, I think we're seeing as the starter. He has not really returned. And then on the Burnley side, I don't know. Maybe their defense, or you're holding out hope here just based on Leeds' lack of attack.
I'm going to rain on your parade because I've got more than 45 seconds, I think, on this one.
All right.
So
do you disagree with my thoughts?
I wouldn't disagree. I think I have more to supplement.
Okay.
So I'll start with the lead side. I agree with your point that I think Joe Rodon has been excellent value this season. I think right now he's still priced at 4.1. So he's had one price rise, only owned by 5.5%. So still in that differential category. I know he's had, I mean, he's up there in total points. He's gotten, I think, does he have just one goal this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, just one goal, no assists, but he's got 30 points on the season. So, I mean, Joe Rodon's had an excellent campaign. They've got Burnley, they've got West Ham in game week 9, then Brighton, Forest, Villa. They run into City in game week 13. So if you're thinking about bringing in a Leeds defender, Joe Rodon could be a great defender to bring in. I would also put Goodmanson in that same category, who's a little bit more attacking. I think he's also at the same exact price. He's actually at 4 mil, and he's also at the 5.6% ownership. So again, a little bit cheaper if you don't have that extra, 0.1 And he's at a little bit less total point. Hasn't had any goals scored, but a little bit more attacking. Now on the DCL train, so I know I actually I think I'm going to backtrack. I have been on record saying that Calvert-Lewin could be one of those players that if he starts to get minutes, he's someone that I could target.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that I was doing a little bit of perusing on the interwebs over the last 10 days, and I saw something very interesting that basically there's a stat out there that when you boil it down, there is no player in the Premier League in the last, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years that has a larger gap between expected goals and converted goals than DCL. And I think from an FPL perspective, that is very concerning. And I think also just from like the eye test, like we've seen that, right? Like there's a reason why Everton was willing to move on from DCL, right? Like, brand new stadium, right? Like if DCL was the answer, they would not have moved on from him, right?
Yeah.
If DCL was the answer, the bigger clubs would be, knocking at his doorstep. So there's a reason why he's priced at 5.5 mil. If all you have is 5.5 mil and you're looking for someone who's nailed, sure. But I think I personally am kind of looking to maybe distance myself a little bit from DCL because
You're no longer DCL curious.
I, I'm less DCL curious than I think I had been because yes, is he capable of giving you the 11-pointer against Wolves? Sure. So is
Everybody else. It's Wolves.
everybody else against Wolves. But is he more likely to give you the consistent 2 points in the other 6 games that he's played this season? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if all you're looking for is the 90 minutes and 2 points, sure, he can do that. But so could a lot of other players. So take that for what it is. Now, on the and then the only other player that I would bring up for Leeds, Anton Stock. So we talked about him a couple weeks ago. Midfielder, 5 mil, only owned by 3.2% of owners, managers right now. One of the better midfielders in the game, 33 total points, 1 goal, 2 assists, consistent minutes on set pieces, consistent attacking threat. Point totals are a little elevated because of that Wolves game. Had a 15-pointer there. He's gotten half of his points in 1 game, but who hasn't, right? All the points count the same when it comes to your total points. So just, again, another player to kind of keep in mind as an option, as kind of a lower cost differential. Now, Burnley's side of shop. I know a lot of players are still kind of targeting, Esteve from a cheap defender. Kyle Walker is another player that I think managers are, the name sounds more familiar. He's somebody that I'm not interested in. But Jaden Anthony, I think, Carmelo Anthony's great nephew, godson.
Mm-hmm.
He right now is priced at 5.7. I just want to get his numbers so I don't mess this up. Priced at 5.7, owned by 6.8%. He's flagged right now with a knock, 75% chance. He right now is 41 points. I think he's actually technically in team of the season. I don't have it. I don't have the team of the season in front of me.
Third best midfielder.
Is he third best midfielder? So he's gotten 4 goals and an assist. This is a player that, he was able to find a return against City. He was able to find a return against United. He would not be surprised if he could find a return against Leeds. So just, again, another option, not breaking the bank by any means, kind of in that, 6.8 to 7 range of ownership. We'll call it 6.9% ownership. Just a player that has, had a good season and no reason to think that he couldn't return against a defense like Leeds. So, a little bit of a snoozer. I'm not watching this game, but I think there are FPL implications for this game.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to take these chances on Anthony and Stock. Really switch it up.
Yeah, I don't want to get into too much of the team reveal right now, but numbers never lie. Yeah, that's an old ESPN show, I think. I don't know.
How old is it?
Old enough. Oof. All right, moving on. Palace and Bournemouth. This is a fun one. Do you want to go on this one, or do you want me to kick it off?
No, you go. You take the lead.
All right, so I'll kick it off with Bournemouth, I guess. How do you mention Bournemouth? Without immediately Semenyo, right? The guy has been, FBL god tier this season. The question is, right, can he continue his form? I don't think he has shown any signs this season of slowing down. So from that perspective, right, I don't see any reason why You wouldn't start him. If you haven't brought him into your team at this point, you may be priced out already.
Yep.
Too bad, so sad if that's
As
the
am I.
case. A couple
He's
of
owned
other
by
players,
60% now. That's crazy.
he's owned by 60%. Yeah, he's one of those players at this point where like
It's
you
tough to
almost
bring
just
him
like
in.
need his yeah,
You need to
it's very tough to
root
bring him in.
against him.
Yeah.
It's like what
Yeah,
happened with Salah
exactly.
last year. For the people that didn't bring him in, it was too late to get in on him with the price rises and the ownership, so you just had to root against him. But obviously, he went on to break the records. I'm hoping the same thing
Yeah.
can't happen twice in a row.
Well, history never repeats itself. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to see personally more of the same from Semenya just to keep pace. Like I don't think I personally benefit, nor does anybody else who has him in his squad because he is so highly owned. Nessie is another player again who what is his ownership right now? So Nessie's owned by 25% of owners. So he's another one. He's already, I think he started the season at 4.5 mil. He's already up to 5 mil. Defcon Beast, I think he's also, I think, in team of the season right now. Yeah, 46 points, 2 assists. So another player who, if you're looking for a defender, I think this could be one of those games, honestly. I would not be surprised if it ended 0-0. I think these teams match up very well.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't hold me to that. My predictions have not been great this season, and to that, I would also not be opposed to bringing in Petrovic. Right, as far as a keeper goes, I think Bournemouth have looked good this season. Gariola's got those boys playing well. Those would be really the kind of the 3 players I think on Bournemouth that I would look to target or even look to potentially bring in if I didn't already have them in my squad. I'm just going to double check Petrovic's ownership right now is only at 5.7%, and he's priced at 4.5. So yeah, nice little differential goalkeeper there as well.
I think you summed up the Bournemouth side. Over on Palace, I think the most exciting player that they have now that he's back from injury is probably Sarr. Agree. I think he's probably taken over Mateta as their who I would be targeting.
I think so.
What is his ownership? I should have.
6.6.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good because
Yeah.
Mateta's at 9.9. Maybe obviously there are different positions, but I think Sarr coming back, he already contributed. I think they could be good. They have a tough one this week, and then they have Arsenal next week. So you kind of have to balance what you want as a differential versus you're looking at their fixture run. But after that, they have Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, and United, Burnley, Fulham. So after these next couple, it is a good run, and I would be looking to get Sarr in for the later half of that little run there. Obviously, Gehi and Pamplemousse Lacroix are nobody's going to be moving those out just based on how well they've looked so far. But
Yeah. I mean that fixture run, seeing it on the screen here from weeks 10 to 15, and AFCON kicks in after game week 16. Is that right?
I thought it started on 16. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there.
So it starts on. We'll have to double check on that, but I think it's. Do we get the 5 free transfers at the conclusion of game week 16 or at the conclusion of game week 15? I have to double check on that.
Sure.
The amount of disrespect to the AFCON players that we just exhibited for not knowing this is insane. We probably just pissed off a lot of our African listeners, but
Our listeners or our players?
both. We can assume that most of the players are also listeners.
That's true.
Yeah. But that run's hard to ignore.
Yeah. Maybe you can have Mateta and Sarr. I mean, if they link up in the next game or even against Arsenal and just show the potential, it might be worth bringing them both in with maybe a defender. I mean, a triple up
Yeah.
on Palace is not crazy.
I just we've talked through how many fixtures thus far 1, 2, 3, 4, and how many midfield options have we already mentioned that are not Salah? Like you could genuinely talk Enzo, Caicedo. You could talk through Jaden Anthony, Stock, Semenyo is 6, Sar is 7. Like you could start any of those 7, and you could say that is a very solid midfield, and we haven't even gotten through the other 6 fixtures yet. Like it's awesome. Let me say that first and foremost. But it's very hard to get away from that man Mo.
Yeah. And also, it almost seems like it's hard to spend. At least when I was looking at it, it's hard to spend the money elsewhere, right? If you drop Mo and bring in 3 of those midfielders you just mentioned, you're gonna have money in the bank, and then you probably already have Holland. The other forward choices are between 7 and 8, unless you're bringing in Isak. So it's like you have to put that money into your defenders, premium defenders, who really haven't been you know, pushing to get themselves in. So that's why I hesitated to sell him a couple weeks ago. Is I just didn't know where else to spend the money without doing a complete blow up. But then
Yeah,
I just got paralyzed and then didn't do anything, and then look how it turned out. So, yeah,
there's
there's plenty of
tremendous
options.
value.
There's great value in the midfield. You just have to be selective or smart about where you're spending that, so it's not just sitting on your bench or in the bank. Really.
Smart overcoat. Jane Lynch, is that her name?
Yeah.
Hmm.
What an actress.
Rest in peace, Jane Goodall. Oof.
Yeah.
She died.
Tough.
Died. Ugh.
What a name she made for herself. I feel like elementary school earth science she has nailed down.
I can't believe, honestly, shame on us that we didn't lead this episode with a memoir to Diane Keaton.
Why would we have a memoir to Diane Keaton?
She died.
Yeah. So did Jane Goodall. We'd have mentioned her
I know.
38 minutes in.
We probably should have started this episode with 30 to 45 seconds
An in
of
memoriam
Arms
section.
of an Angel, in memoriam. We would have taken the copyright hit. Diane Keaton, Jane Goodall. Who else died this week?
I just saw some rapper.
Damien. What was his
Yeah.
name? Was that his name, Damien? Did I get that right?
It was like a D. It was something D.
Was he a rapper, like an R&B singer?
R&B.
Who died this week that was famous? Famous deaths. Who died to Robert Redford? No.
That was a long time ago.
No, D'Angelo. That's the guy's name.
The sandwich
D'Angelo.
shop.
TMZ will tell me who died today. Let's see. Diane Keaton, D'Angelo. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't do this. Maybe we start the whole thing over. Maybe we don't. I don't know.
You could
I
just
never heard
edit
of it.
this. You could just edit this into the beginning of the episode.
Sandy Alomar Sr., ex-MLB All-Star, dead at 81. You know what his son's name was?
Junior.
Yeah, you nailed it. Good for you. That was honestly like kind of a trick question, but yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Moving on. Next game.
Moving on.
City hosting Everton. This could be a bloodbath. Holland and some more goals planned for the homeland. Everton without Jack. I believe Vardiol's back for this game.
Yes. Vardiol is healthy. He's back.
Or he started last game, right? That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy they got from Wolves, the left back there.
Nunez.
Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri is not back yet.
Yeah.
So, Aït-Nouri's not back. Rodri is back. So
no, didn't Rodri go out with an injury last game? No. He's doubtful.
He's doubtful.
Botmob's got him with a muscle injury on October. I think he's flagged right now.
He's also in the projected lineup though, so I don't know.
Yeah, Pep sometimes, he plays his little mind games.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it though, right? Like this could be a bloodbath. To your point, like look no further than the Viking himself. All you got to do is go back. I'm going to share my screen with you just for a moment here. Because this, like, you have to look at this just to believe it. So what I've got up here for our listeners, I've got Holland's match stats from all leagues. I'm trying to bring it up here. Let me know when you can see it here.
Seems to be a problem for you lately. Getting it to stay
I
up
don't know.
once you share it.
I can get it up. It's then keeping it up. That's the whole problem. Take a look at this. So these are his last 3, 6, 9. These are his last 10 matches. So basically the start of the season, pretty much, including, international
Champions
duty.
League.
Champions League, Europe, you name it. Jim, he has not
blanked.
scored a goal. He hasn't blanked since the Spurs game.
What's that tell you about Spurs?
I mean,
but yeah,
Spurs are
that is
pretty good this season.
Pretty consistent.
Get out of this man's way.
I think we said it last time. I mean, he's probably just a set and forget captain pick. These numbers are just showing it. And against Everton, they've looked good. They put up some fight. They've had some late comebacks. They've had some magic, but that's all really been started by Jack, who's not going to be playing. You're just still in awe looking at these numbers. I could tell.
I mean,
you know why I'm not super impressed by these numbers? Yes, they're impressive. Do you know why I'm not floored? Have you seen Kane's numbers?
Oh my gosh. That is so true.
He's averaging a goal like every 39 minutes.
Yeah, Kane is. And they're not even talking about it. They're not talking about it. I think what did he get in the Blue Door rankings this
He was like
season,
in the
like 30.
20s. No, I think he's higher than that.
It was disrespectful.
Yeah.
It
And I did
was
see that he
disgusting.
can trigger a buyout clause for next summer for like 80 mil
It's
if
I didn't
he
even think it
like
was that much.
was it I think it was 60, 68, 70, 80, something like that.
Let's say
Uh,
69.
units though. Who knows what the but he has to like let them know by January. Well, who knows? Maybe by January we'll have something to look forward to.
I mean, we may be in need of a striker because I mean, Kolomwani doesn't seem to have legs that work. Richie's on his way out, and I
It's
mean,
not like he's
Mateus
played like
Tell isn't really. Yeah,
20
yeah,
games.
Solanke's not. Yeah,
So,
he's not healthy ever. So yeah, but we'll
anyway,
we'll,
back
we'll
to
talk about Spurs.
back to
Back
City.
to City. Yeah, I mean, so I guess let's think about this from an FPL perspective. I think on the Everton side, I think Tarkowski, Pickford. I think Tarkowski's going to give you your DEFCON points, but that's pretty much it, right? I don't see Everton holding a clean sheet here. I mean, Pickford might give you save points with the new bonus point system, the way that they're awarding bonus points. I mean, it's possible with the number of involvements he might have if City are firing on all cylinders that like maybe he's awarded an extra bonus point. But like,
Let's not even waste our time trying to justify it.
yeah, it just
If you have them and you have a backup option, I would start somebody else.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, it's Holland. If a lot of folks, I feel like a lot of folks have moved on from Reinders at this point. What's his ownership right now? Reinders still owned by 32%. I'm curious if that's a drop. I'm gonna guess it is because well, no, he probably he's at 5.8. I feel like he probably started the season at 5.5. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if managers are moving off him, but
Mhm.
he's pretty much been nailed. I don't think
He's been
he's
nailed. He
played
just hasn't
90.
returned.
Let me take a look here. Reinders has played okay, so played 75 against Brentford last week, but he started. So he has started every match. He just came off against Brentford. But yeah, he's been pretty nailed. He had that first, most of his points against Wolves. And target Wolves. It feels like everyone we bring up, if they played Wolves, that's where they get most of their points.
One last question for you. Do you think it would be crazy, just hypothetical, to triple down on the Foden captain?
Oof. Well,
I took the
let
wheel
me
back
just
from Jesus. I'm taking matters into my own hands. Maybe like a let me show you how it's done moment.
okay.
Just a thought.
So let me just hypothetically, I think the saying is only once, shame on. I don't know the saying. I think if you Foden, if hypothetically you captain Foden again this week, you might be taking crazy pills.
All right. That's all I need to hear. Thank you.
I want it to work for you. Don't get me wrong. I think it would be like an awesome story to tell your daughters in like 30 years.
They'd be proud of me.
They would, I mean, yeah, they need something to be proud of. But
All right. Moving on. Last 10 o'clock game, Sunderland hosting Wolves. I think we just said it. We're targeting Wolves, but at the same time, I wouldn't be bringing in a Sunderland asset to face them this week. It might be irresponsible to do.
I think the only Sunderland attacker that you would really bring in, like, you're not going to bring in Xhaka. I mean, Isidore, however you say it. I think
It's Gilmore.
he's only owned by 3.3%. He's in, he seems to have gotten most of the minutes as of late, gotten 3 goals, but I don't know if I'm looking to burn my transfer this week to bring him in.
Yeah, no.
Reinildo is still suspended. Alderete, I believe, is flagged, but could be a nice player to bring in. But I don't know. I think this
No.
is an avoid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Wolves, I don't even know. So
Why are they in the league still?
Strand Larson was probably their most owned player, right? He's now owned by 1.4%. They're just not worth talking about. I mean,
They're non-competitive. They yeah, they're yeah.
all right, save some time, move on.
Yeah. Good idea.
All right, rounding off Saturday, Fulham hosting Arsenal, 12:30 Eastern time. I don't really know where to go with this.
I have a thought on this one. And
Okay.
I think our
Should we
Arsenal.
just start with injuries? Do you want to start? So Odegaard's
Uh,
out.
yes, Odegaard is out. I think I saw he's actually out for longer than what folks initially thought.
I think December is what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw like another 8 weeks. Tough. I know. I don't love Arsenal. I don't root for them. Odegaard, I always kind of enjoyed watching him play. Whatever. Is what it is.
Gabriel and Saliba are both fit though. Correct.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge.
One of those had a knock before international break. I know.
Yeah, unless something comes through in some of the pressers or whatnot this weekend. But Arsenal, I believe, should be pretty much as fit as they have been, as they should start out. Let me see, double check here.
Saka scored a goal over international break.
Yeah, I mean Madueke obviously injured, Hincape is still injured, Havertz is still injured. But other than that, I think Arsenal are pretty much back to quote unquote full strength. I did see that Fulham did pick up a couple injuries to Kenny Tete and Raul Jimenez, and Muniz is still injured with that knock, so he'll be out for a few weeks. But other than that, I don't know if there's really anything new to report on the Fulham side of shop either. But outside of injuries, I did want to give a little bit of praise, I will say, to Arsenal, and it kind of pains me to do because I'm not an Arsenal fan, but it's actually I think it was Thomas Frank who 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 actually kind of put this quote out there, and I think once he said this, I couldn't deny it anymore. But basically, the quote, if I'm quoting it correctly, I'm paraphrasing, but said like in the history of the Premier League, like 33% of all goals come off set pieces. So why wouldn't you prioritize perfecting set pieces when a third of all goals scored come off set pieces? So we give Arsenal a ton of crap for scoring the majority of their goals this season off of set plays and off of set pieces, and they can't score from open play. But here's our manager who is quite literally saying like, no, you should be spending time on this facet of the game because it is a huge component and it's a differentiator because the good teams that's what can set them apart. So as much as it pains me to give them their flowers, I think I'm willing to step over to the dark side a little bit and maybe lighten my stance a little bit on the set piece
Uh,
shit that I've been giving.
yeah, I don't know. Their defenders are becoming FPL must-haves.
Right.
I'll leave it at that. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. 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 Especially how it impacts FPL. It's you can't deny it.
Yeah.
You know. Uh. eh,
Yep. And Saka's back. He scored. As he's getting into the squad, he scored. I think just could be the right time for them to click.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we're. How many weeks out are we to the North London Derby? I think we're. Is it 3 weeks out?
No, they play on November 23rd.
Okay.
We got
So
quite a ways.
a month or so, 5 weeks out. Okay. We're shaping up though. If things hold.
Be a good one.
Could be a good one. We haven't really had like a meaningful one in a while. Feels like we've had it feels like the last meaningful one was when like Spurs beat Arsenal. Was it in 2022? I think it was. It was like in May. I think it was to qualify for Champions League. I think it bumped Arsenal out.
This is bad podcasting.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Spurs and Villa. What do you got?
I don't know which way to. Whoa, I apologize. This one, I feel like they're kind of evenly matched. Spurs have looked good. They've had a couple falters, but Kudus has looked great. We're, second place in the table, but we're playing Villa as they're finally starting to click, finally scoring goals. Watkins scored over break again. So I'd say if this game was 2 weeks ago, I would say Spurs are, no brainer, captain them, bring them in. Given where we are right now, I think it's probably maybe I don't know, evenly matched. Let's say it's evenly matched. It's gonna be a tough game. Is that fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those like trap games for Spurs that like is definitely winnable. I think we've seen Spurs like lose this game way too often, though.
Every year.
every year. I think as far as FPL goes, right? So, if you've got the likes of Van de Ven or Pedro Porro, if you've got Kudus in your squad, if you've got Xavi in your squad, if you've got, Richie or, any of those folks, I think you're fine to start them. I don't think you need to, make any rash moves to move any of those players out. To that point, though, if you were looking to maybe bring a player in, Kudus looked great last week. I know obviously over the break, you can kind of throw form somewhat out the window just because it's been a little bit of time off,
He
at
did
least
score
like
for Ghana.
Premier League form. Well, but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like throw out the Premier League form, you can kind of more so look at the international break form. Like you said, he did score for Ghana. So if you wanted to bring in Kudus, I would sign up for that move because he has looked great. His on ball presence has been phenomenal this season. We've talked about it all season. So I think Kudus could be a player to target for a lot of folks. And just looking at his numbers right now, so he's owned by 33.5% of managers, priced at 6.8 mil. We'll take a look at the price to see if he's on track to rise in price. I think he actually had a price rise in the last 10 days as well. So it wouldn't be shocking if he went up again before the deadline. But I think really just Kudus would be the only player I would maybe look to bring in. Poro's been disappointing. We've talked about him. A lot of the premium defenders have been disappointing outside of the Arsenal defenders. But if you have Poro, I mean, eventually he's got to click.
I don't want to say it, but the fixtures are turning. We did have a nice run there. So we have Villa Saturday, Monaco midweek, then Everton next weekend.
Monaco.
So after Everton, though, we have Newcastle in the EFL Cup, Chelsea, Champions League, FC Copenhagen, and United, Arsenal, PSG in the Champions League. So it's a tough run coming up with those Champions League and the EFL Cup. Maybe we'll see some more rotation. I don't know. My point there is maybe if anybody had the triple Spurs, it might be time to move on from triple Spurs. I think Kudus is probably the safest attacking threat. And then maybe if you have one of the defenders, Poro, like you said, he's been disappointing. But if you drop down and you can just still have some coverage if you want it. But so tough run. Personally, I'm going to be keeping Kudus through that because I think he's looked that good. But I would avoid bringing anybody else in.
Is this the week Watkins goes off?
I don't know. Your boy Mallon's the number one gunner there, right?
Donnie. Well, he's
We'll see.
1A, 1B to your boy Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, but tough one to gauge. I think it'll be a close match either way. Marquee match of the weekend: Liverpool hosting United, 11:30 on Sunday. A lot of bad blood in this one. Which Liverpool are we gonna get? So I know we said it last episode. They lost 3 in a row. Isak hadn't been contributing. Salah's been not justifying his price point. United have been kind of clicking, coming up to speed. But over the break, Salah had some goals. Gakpo had some goals. Van Dijk hit the goal. So is now when we're gonna see Liverpool actually turn the corner and put it all together, or is it gonna be more of the same and more question marks for Slot? Home game, so they have that going for them.
I was gonna say, United's defense has not inspired me in any way, shape, or form this season. So if Liverpool were to go out at home and score, put 3 in, I don't know if I would really I don't know what I would make of it. Now, that being said, their new keeper did have a nice debut last week. He was in the team of the week in Gameweek 7. I wouldn't be looking to bring anyone in on United's defense. I've got Dorgu on my team. I'm considering moving him out just because again, like United's defense, Dorgu's attacking, sure, but
he hasn't
from
returned.
A defensive,
no.
Yeah, he hasn't returned.
One assist,
right? He's kind of in that same bucket as De Kuiper. I think they might even only have like a point or two separating the two of them for point total for the season. Just again, like another one of those players who are like supposed to be kind of a budget attacking defender that just has been disappointing. But yeah, so to piggyback on your point around Liverpool, like who are we going to get? I don't know. Will Vert start this game? I don't think so. Honestly, I think if Amram's got an ounce of brain, I would think he starts a more physical midfield, and that would kind of neutralize any chance of Vert starting in the midfield. I think at this point, Verts will probably be kind of that, I don't want to say super sub that kind of comes in, but feels like that's his role right now, where he's coming in either at half as an adjustment to tactics, or he's coming in, in the 70th minute or whatnot. If they need to go maybe be a little bit more attacking,
Mm-hmm.
I think I think you said it. Liverpool need to learn how to play. It's more important that they learn how to play with Isak. I think that's more important than them learning how to play with Verts. I think at this point in time.
Yeah, because they have the coverage in the midfield.
Right. Right.
He's not the long-term puzzle piece that they're going to build around.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean this will be one. What am I doing Sunday? Oh, I'm golfing Sunday, so I probably won't be able to watch this one. Probably won't be able to watch the Spurs one either. Yeah, it's a little family scramble.
You love your family.
My younger cousins, they talk so much shit, and well, your best friend Mark, uh, he, myself, FPL Black Lab, and more going 4-on-4, and we beat them last time, so they wanted a rematch. So just gotta kick their ass real quick, and then we'll get back to our day. But yeah, no, I mean, this will be a fun one to watch. If you have Salah still, which I think a lot of people do, I know a lot of people have been moving on from him. I can't get myself to sell him. Probably because I can't get back to him.
He is going to be gone
Well, that's
at AFCON, right? So you're
That's
going to
the
have to
whole
sell him
point.
at some point.
Yeah. Like you're only delaying the inevitable. But that being said, there are a lot of players that are going to be gone for AFCON. So, take that for what it is. Like your midfield, and they are going to give you 5 free transfers, which I could kind of appreciate as someone who doesn't really have any transfers in the bank right now, the one for this week. But yeah, I almost wish, and I don't have Liverpool's fixtures in front of me right now, but I might spend a little bit of time because if it makes sense based on the fixtures, because Liverpool, I know we've talked about them in the past being kind of fixture proof, but this season they haven't really given me that confidence that they are fixture proof. If it makes sense from a
So,
fixture perspective to move them out, I might consider doing it early.
so if United this week, Frankfurt in Champions League, and they have Brentford, Palace in the EFL Cup. Let me just do the Premier League just to keep it simple. So they have United, Brentford, Villa, City. After City, it turns up. So they have Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, and that gets you through December 20th. They have Spurs. So after City, mid-November, that's a nice run.
Yeah, that's almost too good to pass up. That's
Right.
almost
By
too
then,
good
what-
to pass
But
up.
by then, how will their lineup look? Is Isak going to be in and firing away? So
I
it's
don't
tough.
know. Hopefully, we have some answers, fewer questions by that point. But I don't know. I don't know.
United side, you going to bring anybody in? Buemo, Sheshko?
No, I mean, I actually forgot about Sheshko, as you remembered at the top of the episode. So definitely not bringing him in. I can't bring Mbomo in because I don't feel like he has enough goal scoring opportunities other than the counter attack, which I'll give him his credit. He is electric out there. He can beat anyone in a foot race. But I think about him against Van Dijk on the right hand side there, 1-on-1. I don't think this is a good matchup for him.
Yeah.
And I think about Cunha out on the left. I mean, yeah, I guess if he's healthy, but is he really healthy? I don't know. Bruno Fernand, I'm not touching him right now. I want to see him make a penalty somewhere, someplace before I would consider bringing him in. Just myself. So yeah. So
One last match Monday. I'll give you 60 seconds to get through this one. West Ham hosting Brentford. You're on the clock.
Jared Bowen,
Took me 7 seconds to say something. Not a great start.
not a great start. Jared Bowen, I think, has been in good form. Brentford have not been great this season, but haven't been awful. Another week with Nuno at the reins, another week to put a system in place. Maybe he taps into something Monday fixture that I don't really care about. Yeah, that's all I got for this one, I think.
Pretty good.
Give you your
Pretty
time
good.
back. I concede.
I'll take the last 15 seconds. Agree. Bowen would be the only one if you're really looking for a differential to bring in. West Ham's next match after that is Leeds, then Newcastle, then Burnley, then Bournemouth. So kind of hit or miss. You can get him in a rotation maybe with somebody that you love, but not for me.
What a shame that he was reclassified this season.
It's more of a shame that they haven't signed anybody to help him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel like he was never like a premium midfielder. He was always kind of more like he was like a reliable midfielder. He was kind of like the Honda Accord, like kind of like a Toyota Camry. He was never like like the cream of the crop, like a Cadillac. And Jim, this episode is brought to you by the Cadillac. Sleek, luxurious, and guaranteed to turn heads, especially in a Florida retirement community. Whether you're cruising down the highway or just trying to prove to your parents that comedy can pay, the Cadillac is the ultimate statement of success. It says, "I've made it." It also says, "Why is everyone in Del Boca Vista suddenly jealous of Morty Seinfeld?" With power seats, plush leather, and enough trunk space to hold every box of collectible Sinatra records your father refuses to throw away, the Cadillac isn't just a car, it's an event. And if you play your cards right, you might even get impeached from the condo board. Visit CadillacDelBocaVista.com and use code TINKER for 10% off select models. That's CadillacDelBocaVista.com, code TINKER, the Cadillac, for when you want to show love and accidentally cause a neighborhood uprising. And back to the pod. All right, Jimbo. So we've gone through fixtures. As far as captaincy goes, I mean, I think we kind of hit upon it, but give me your top captain picks. Maybe give me your top three who you're targeting this week, that you feel like our listeners would benefit from.
Yeah, sure. I think we said it. Holland against Everton, his form is tremendous. Everton might struggle to create. I think they could see a lot of the ball. He could just be getting fed all morning. I think he's a safe pick. Who I really like, and I'm probably going to be going with, is Saka versus Fulham. He's back. He's in good form. Him and Eze are both doing well. If they could click, I really think the two of them could have something. I'm probably giving it to the star boy there. And I really think Voltemade. I think his form is great. You said he had 4 and 5. Away game at Brighton. He can come off international break, continue that form, running into their fixtures coming up. I think he could be really nice picks. I'd get it on him early.
Okay. I love the Holland pick. I'm assuming you did these in order as well. Holland, I think, like you said, he's kind of the set and forget. He's going to be the popular pick. If you're doubting, who I should pick, Holland's going to be the safe pick. You nailed that. I agree. Saka, we didn't really talk too much the Arsenal fixture. I kind of went deep on the set piece crap, but that's okay. Saka, I think, is a phenomenal choice. I think Saka's on pens. I know we've kind of gone back and forth a
He took
lot
the
this
last one.
season.
Yep.
He took the last one. Gherkins hasn't scored a goal, I think, at least a meaningful goal now. I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but feels like it's been a while. Not that, Goku's performance has anything to do with, Sokka's captaincy potential, but I guess the point being, like, this is very much still Sokka's team. Sokka is the focal point. Like, he is the player to watch for Arsenal. I think he could be someone who could, when he's healthy, he can just explode. He can explode all over Fulham and just give him his gobbledygook. So I love that pick. And Voltemade, I mean, he's kind of taken the Premier League and FPL by storm. I think, was it last ep I shared with you the video of his penalty?
Pen. Yeah.
I mean,
Beautiful.
if he actually takes pens and kind of holds them for the rest of the season, he could be another player. I mean, he can score balls with his head. He can, if he's going to be on pens, just another phenomenal pick. Okay, and Voltemade, I'm looking at their ownership right now, just right around that 10% ownership as well. So kind of a differential as far as, just they're not Holland, right? I love all three of those picks. Nice job.
And Gyökeres hasn't scored since September 13th in a 3-0 win against Forest. So
that's
again,
a month.
Not super meaningful. And then he scored 2 against Leeds early
Didn't he steal one from a 15-year-old in that game?
I believe he did, yeah.
Nice. I know
Who you got? Anybody else who had on your radar for captain?
To be very honest, I don't want to say Salah because listen.
I know the feeling. He's due, right?
He's due. Like, this is a guy, and I'm trying to bring up his numbers. Like, I'm trying to bring up his last few matches against. Let me see if I can bring it up. Salah's stats versus. Why is this like the first thing that comes up when you Google Salah stats versus Man United? So he's got 13 goals and 6 assists and 15 Premier League appearances and a record of 7 goals at Old Trafford. So I guess they're not playing at Old Trafford; they're at Anfield. I mean, those are Those are phenomenal numbers. He has contributed to 17 of Liverpool's last 23 goals against them. It's hard to bet
That's
against
a
that.
lot.
You know, sometimes players just kind of like, have like a thing about playing against other teams. It's kind of like in baseball, right? Like sometimes like, hitters just kind of own pitchers for some reason. It's not usually an explanation. Sometimes they're like the best pitchers ever, but there's just like a player here and there that just seems to own them and, has great numbers against them. Like Salah is that player against United, it feels like. You know, it would not surprise me if Salah, was able to grab a goal and assist against United. That would not surprise me in the least bit. So I just want to pepper that in there because he's capable of that. Entirely capable of that.
Yeah, he's
And it wouldn't
capable.
surprise
Question
anyone.
is, do you think he's going to do it?
I'm giving my armband to Holland this week.
Okay.
I'm probably giving my vice captaincy to Holland, to Salah. So take that for what it's worth. As far as differentials go, I mean, I feel like this whole episode we talked differentials. Like
Yeah.
we've basically said like ownership and whatnot. Listen to the episode. There's your differentials. Just real quick, as far as transfers, price changes go. So just as we're chatting here, because we actually are recording this a day early. So as of Wednesday at 11:47 p.m., there are a few players that are actually expected to rise in the next 2 days. So prior to the deadline. I'm just going to read through them right now. Anton Stock, one of those players, 94% of the way at a price rise. Arsenal defender, Joshua King, one midfielder who's basically been playing in that number 9 attacking role with all of Fulham's forwards injured. Not surprising there. Voltamade is on his way up. Petrovic, Bournemouth keeper. Anthony Gordon over at Newcastle. Holland is only about 70% of the way there, so he may not make it. Nick Pope over at Newcastle. The menu is at about 64% of the way there. Other than that, I think you're probably okay to make it through. But yeah, so a handful of players that we mentioned. Anyone on the drop side? Nobody meaningful. Yeah. João Pedro, actually, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, his
He's
ownership is so high
92% of
that
the way. Yeah. He's 92% of the way to a drops. If you're looking to move him, maybe you want to do so before Friday just to avoid the funds.
it'll be interesting if people do sell off Pedro and Salah and disperse elsewhere. I feel like there might be a lull in price changes because those are really the highest owned players. But we'll see. I'm sure the
Yeah.
price changes will kick up again and matter more when it comes closer to AFCON.
Yeah, definitely possible. Wouldn't surprise me. All right, so why don't we do you want to do your team first or you want me to do mine? What do you want to do? Are you ready to do yours? Yeah.
I'll go quick because I'm not decided yet. I think I'm going to blow it up and get Salah out, but I don't know. I'm going to have to take a couple hits. I have 2 free transfers. I want to get Voltamade in. I don't know if I'm going to do that for João Pedro or if I'm going to keep João Pedro and do Voltamade, or do I want Voltamade and Isak to get some Liverpool coverage? I guess I'm not decided if I want Isak to cover Liverpool or if I'm comfortable enough with Gakpo. I think I could probably be okay based on his form. He scored 2 more goals over the break, so I'd probably be okay with Gakpo, and he doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. But in the end,
Gakpo seems to have locked down that left side.
yeah, especially with Verts dropping to the bench. So
Good differential too.
Yeah. So I'm undecided. I think I am decided that I'm going to sell Salah. It's just a matter of who else I'm going to bring in. I'm going to bring in Voltamade. Do I bring in Isak or do I move everything else to defenders and get some Arsenal defenders in? Not sure what to do with all the other funds, but Salah's going to be gone for me. I need to make some moves.
Rest in peace. Down to the caverns.
You?
Yeah, so I would say like 75% decided. So I'm probably gonna go 3-4-3 this week. I'll start Nick Pope in goal, Van de Ven, Mark Gahey in my back line. Midfield of Mo Salah, Udis, Javi, Semenyo in my midfield. Holland gets my armband, João Pedro and Voltamade up front with Dubravka, Josh King and Reynildo on my bench, who is still suspended. So that leaves De Kuiper and Dorgu as my two defenders. Just based on fixture, I would probably start De Kuiper over Dorgu, because for all the reasons we mentioned when we were talking fixtures. I have one free transfer and 0.3 mil in the bank. To be very honest, I kind of have like a vendetta against the Kuiper. He's just kind of been pissing me off, but so is Dorgu.
It's justified.
I'd love to get to an Arsenal defender. I do not have the funds to do so at this point in time. If I were to really think about like how I would envision my team perfectly, I would probably make 3 or even 4 transfers, or really, I guess 5. I would probably sell Salah, Javi, De Kuiper, Dorgu, and either Reynildo or Josh King. Like I would make those 5 transfers, and I would do things a little bit differently there. I obviously can't do that, and I'm not looking to take any hits at this point in time. So
Yeah, that'd be
I
big.
think, yeah, I think my move at this point is going to be either move to Kuiper or Dorgu, because they both cost, I think, the same right now. I think they're both at 4.4. I think I'm going to move either one of them to Milik Diouf, or Diouf. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Over at West Ham, it's been pretty tacky. I think he has the most assists for a defender in the Premier League this season as well. Or I think, who else was I targeting this? I was looking at some players before this who were also, but I'm probably looking to bring a defender in this week. Javi would be the other player I might look to move off of this week. I could go like Javi to Sar, but I don't, the Palace fixture against Bournemouth, I don't love that one for Sar that much more than I love Javi against Villa. So to me, it's like kind of the same level of, attacking possibility. So I think I can hold Javi for one more week and feel okay about that. So I think those are kind of my 2 moves for right now. If I could get by with banking, I would probably consider that too, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with it this week. So stay tuned. Got a little bit of time still to tinker. Definitely be keeping an ear out for some pressers, see if anything helps my decision making here.
True. And the late lineup block, so that's always good.
Yeah. So that brings us to the AI. So Lord Tinkerton here. I asked Lord Tinkerton what move they would make. And their move, so just as a reminder, their squad right now, they've got Sanchez, the Chelsea keeper. They got Dubravka, Pedro Porro, Tarkowski, Richards, Doku, Bruno Fernandes, Kudus, Mo Salah, Semenyo, Evan Nilsson, João Pedro, Chris Wood, Goodmanson, and Agbadu, with 0.5 mil in the bank and 1 transfer available. They suggested to move Agbadu out and to bring in either Ezri Konsa from Villa or Juve from West Ham, which was exactly the player that I had just mentioned. So I don't want to make the decision for them, but
Duke.
I think Juve would be the fair one.
Yeah.
And then I actually asked it to make a lineup, and it said to basically bench Chris Wood, Goodmanson, Diouf, and Dubravka. So it's interesting that it's telling me to make a transfer, but then to bench that player. But whatever, I'm going to do what it says to do. And then it's saying to captain Salah and vice captain Kudus. So I will make all those changes, make the transfers. I'll lock that in, and we will go with that for Lord Tinkerton. And Jim, can you please beat the AI this week?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it.
First week back. First week of the redemption.
Make no mistake where you are. Yeah. Well, I think that kind of brings us to the end here.
Yeah.
Any parting words, Jimbo, before we wrap things up?
No. Best of luck, especially to me. I would like to promise that I won't triple captain, or not triple captain, just Captain Foden triple down on it, but I might just have to. But no, that would be irresponsible.
Imagine a crazy hypothetical where you triple captained Foden, hypothetical where you captain Foden for a third time and you triple captained him. That would be a crazy hypothetical.
It'd be 3 out of 3. Yeah.
That'd be like a 9 times captain almost. I think
Chances are he won't even start.
boy. Yeah.
But
Well,
it's been fun.
it's been fun. That being said, as a reminder, please do subscribe, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. Drop us a comment with your captain pick. If you have any questions for us, feel free to roast us. As always, we'll drop our league code in our description. It's not too late to join our mini league. And as always, right, hit that notification bell, like, subscribe, and we will see you and talk to you after Game Week 8 concludes. Happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek.